introducing Brian Batts from Travelport.
I'm good. All right, everybody. Thanks for being the faithful folks interested in innovation. What I'm going to be talking to you about today is Travelport's Journey Manager product. So let me give you a little bit of background on what that is real quick before we jump into the demo. So what Travelport is in its base form, we like to think of it as the glue that kind of pulls everything together. It's a flexible, extensible platform that we use to leverage to bring in the content, the bookable inventory, to manage our mobile applications, to bring in the various modes of communication that we need to support the traveler throughout their entire journey. So real quick, what do we mean when we say journey? Generally speaking, in online travel today, most of the sites, features, functionality, they zero in on one particular facet of travel, one particular stage along the way, either whether it be shop, price, book, or the relationship of travel to when people are planning, or kind of post-transaction support. But what we've done is sat down and said, really, if we sit back and think about the way the experience the traveler is going through, we can map out a series of touch points that we've got, and each one of those is going to translate into some sort of a revenue-generating opportunity or some sort of a service opportunity for a brand. So this is kind of the high-level view of the platform itself. It's some of you may have heard of our partnership with Microsoft in this. So we've worked with them on the architecture and the way that we've laid this out. And I guess there's really two key components to that Microsoft relationship. On the one hand, we've worked with them on the technology aspect of it. So we get insight as a global alliance partner to the newest products that they have, the new platforms that they're rolling out, whether that be Dynamics or their recommendations engines, two examples. And then outside of that, we've spent the last 6 months training up their sales force on a global level, taking this product out to the marketplace. And from a Travelport standpoint, we have two key channels that we're going after with this. On the one hand, we're looking at our traditional travel agent channel, taking this out to them as a product that they can use to reach out to an untapped segment of the market. And then secondly, it's taking it out to suppliers, specifically to work with them on their .com strategy and working with them on their brand.com site. And this is where the relationship with Microsoft really comes into play, because as you can see from the slide, we take a lot of these features and functionality and we host those in the cloud, which is right in line with the direction that Microsoft's heading. But then the value that we can bring to the supplier is that we can tap directly into their content and their inventory. So with that, let me jump over. I'll do a short demo, and I'll start to take you through this. What I'm going to show you today is it's a demonstration of the product that we have for the travel agency channel. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get logged in. The first page that you'll see here is essentially the traveler's dashboard. This allows them to go in and take a journey, a template, and make a copy of it, start a new one, delete it. You can also go in and they can then assign delegation rights to allow someone else to book for them. In this case, we'll drill down on the trip to Orlando that we've planned. And in this case, I'm going to go through the process of building out the individual items that are going to go into this journey. So you'll see from what we're filling out here, we're going through some of the normal phases of filling out the wizard for flights. We'll go on to hotel. We can point and click and drag down whatever items we want. Right now, you'll see air, car, and hotel. But with our universal API, we're able to extend that out to a number of different content and inventory types. You'll see that each one of these searches is being run in parallel. So I'm running a flight search, a hotel search, and a car search independently. What that does is it allows us to create an any-to-any relationship, and you'll see why this matters here in just a minute. So we're able to go in and we're able to start adding items, the individual items that we want, on a element-by-element basis. So I can go through and I can narrow down my search criteria based on flight, based on courier, based on time of day, departure time, and then I can add that to my journey. And what we're doing, in essence, is separating out the shopping process from the booking process, because I've brought a flexible shopping cart capability to the travel planning process. So I've got that flight in there. We'll skip over and drill down on hotel, and we can add the hotel in that we're interested in as well. None of this has been booked. We're not holding on to inventory per se, but at different points along the way, we go through and we go back and check, make sure that it's still available, make sure that the price hasn't changed. We can go on and do that for car as well. So part of the conversations we have with hoteliers is that we go in and we say, you know what we can do is we can connect to your property management system and start to bring some of those products that you normally don't get a chance to sell until the traveler gets on site. With that shopping cart capability, we can then extend out and start leveraging that in different ways. So we've got this information that the traveler's looking at, they're ultimately looking to book and to plan with. Then we can take those and start mapping out directions, and we can add points of interest to the journey as well. So while this isn't bookable right now, working with Microsoft on their Bing Maps and Bing Local product, we're able to add these into the shopping cart from a planning process. Next, we get into our collaboration. So travel is one of those things that I would say is maybe the most social things that we can do. You're always traveling to someone, away from someone, or with someone. So in this case, I'm sending off an invitation to my wife. We're planning a trip to Orlando. I've added the French restaurant, knowing who she is. So I invite her to the collaboration. I post it. Now, similar to the dynamics that you see with Facebook, she's going to get a notification of that. And then she has the opportunity, when we log into her account, to either accept that collaboration or decline it. But once she does, she then has the ability to review all of the items that I've put into my journey. And those are still tied to the shopping cart, which means that she herself can proceed on and book that transaction, book each one of those individual elements. We haven't tied them exclusively together to each other, so if she wants to go in, let's say that we're traveling from different cities, we can then go through and she can change the flight, change the hotel, change the car, and we can book completely different elements for the trip. So in my last couple of minutes, what I want to do is go through and say and show how this starts to make sense across multiple devices, because one of the tasks that we've got when looking at the traveler and looking at their journey in detail, if I can get this open real quick, is that we've got to be device independent. So it's not going to suffice to, let's give it just a second. It's not going to suffice to just try to deliver on a connected traveler experience from just the website. So we've got to port that over into a mobile application as well. So you'll see here on that Orlando trip that I started planning at the beginning, I've got all the elements that I dropped into my shopping cart previously. So whether or not I've purchased those or not is irrelevant at this point. They're in my shopping basket, and then when I come back to it, I can either come at it from the mobile device, or I can come at it from the web and decide whether or not I want to purchase those or not. In this case, we've got the flight, we've got the hotel, we've got the rental car, and we've got the points of interest that I've added as well. So from here, I've got all the contact information I need. I've got the address, I've got the phone number, so I can find my way once I get into a city that I haven't been into before. And lastly, we've enabled this from a booking standpoint as well. I can drill down on the air component. So I've got these items in my shopping cart, and when I'm ready, when I'm satisfied that I've done the planning to the degree that I want to do it, I can then go in and I can book this as well. I can also remove the journey, or remove this particular element from the journey. And in the future, as we move out with additional mobile capabilities, we'll be adding the ability to book the other components as well. So what this does is it gives the traveler, again, going back towards the beginning, it gives the traveler the ability to start from the very beginning on the shopping and booking and research process and start to carry that through the additional steps that they've got in their journey. Again, from a brand standpoint, from an agency standpoint, that translates into additional selling opportunities. It translates into additional service opportunities. If you've got any additional questions for me, I'd be happy for you to stop by our table, probably either later tonight or probably most likely tomorrow. But I want to thank you very much for your time.
Brian Batts, Travelport, thank you.